All righty. So we're gonna go ahead and get going. Okay, so before we get started with kind of our warm-up today, I did want to go through, so you do need to use some sort of weight today. I'm going to show, I've got like one exercise I'm going to do a band with, So if you have bands around your house, grab your bands, grab your free weights, grab anything that you can. I just want to go through some quick examples of things if you do not have weights at your house. It doesn't mean that you don't have something in your house that can be used as a weight. So I took the liberty of finding things around my house that you could potentially use. Laundry detergent, or I think this one's fabric softener, but these things are actually pretty heavy and they come with a handle. So kind of pretty easy to utilize. And if this is completely empty, you can fill it with sand or rocks or something like that. So laundry detergent bottles are good. Bricks, I have these in my backyard. If you do need gardening or landscaping, bricks are also pretty good to use in place of free weights if you happen to have that lying around. Good old soup cans. These tend to be pretty light, so maybe the bigger cans, or what you could even do is put two together and duct tape them. That would give you a little bit of a heavier weight. But so you should all probably have something like this lying around your pantry. Last but not least, I have a ton of these blender bottles in my house, or like you can think about like your hydro flasks or something. I don't have anything in mind here, but I would suggest filling them with something like sand would be good, because then they'll be dense and kind of heavier, or like rock gravel or something like that. You can do water too, that just might be more on the light side. But those are some examples just to give you guys at home an idea of maybe what you could use if you don't have any weights or anything around available, or if you have friends or family members that don't have anything and aren't really exercising and that's the reason. Or they only have some really light weights at home and you want to increase your weight and you don't have any more weights, maybe one of these objects would be kind of a heavier resistance for you. So I just wanted to kind of quickly go through that just in case you fall into that category. But welcome guys, welcome back. So we're gonna get started with our week 2 flex class. So my name is Lily. I think most of you guys get a chance to come to one of my classes already, so awesome. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Today's format is going to be pretty similar as what we did last week. So we're going to start with a dynamic warm-up. I'm going to just walk you guys through that. We're going to do some jumping jacks, and we're going to do a bit of stretching. And then I've got 2 exercises we're going to break down slowly, 2 movement patterns, and then we're going to do a series of supersets or 2 exercises together and kind of go from there. So make sure if you don't have your supplies near you, go ahead and grab them. Make sure your weights, your bands, make sure we got water nearby, sweat towel if you need all that. But we're going to get going here. So we're going to start with 25 jumping jacks. Low impact jumping jacks are just stepping out to the side with your arms coming overhead. If you're comfortable enough to do the full jack, you're going to go for that. And we're going to get going. 25. Go ahead and start. I'll give you guys a minute there to finish out. Everyone probably started a little after me, but 25. All right, we're gonna go right into our stretches. So standing up nice and tall, we're gonna work our way head to toe. Starting with our heads, you're just gonna look over your right shoulder. Stretch and breathe. Head comes back to center. Look over your left shoulder. Back to center, and then I want you to tilt right ear down to your right shoulder. Feel that stretch on the outside of your neck. Head comes back to center, and then opposite, left ear to left shoulder. Feel that stretch. Head comes back to center. Now you're going to do 2 full head rolls around to the right. 2 full rotations, and then we'll switch. 2 all the way around, taking your time, nice and easy. And then switch your direction. Keep your eyes open so you don't get dizzy. And once you get your 2 rotations, bring your head back to center. We're going to move down to our shoulders. So starting with our shoulders, we're going to come up towards our ear, roll them down and back. A couple times just with the shoulders. Once you've got a couple, I want you to start incorporating your elbows. around and back, and then finally add the whole arm all the way up and around and back. Big arm circles. Deep breaths. One more going backwards, and then we're gonna switch. So again, just starting with the shoulders, up towards your ear, down and forward. Start to incorporate your elbows. And then when you're ready, full arm rotations coming forward this time. All right, one more round front, and then take those arms out to the side, nice and wide, making a T, and then you're gonna swing them and cross arms in front of your body. Just open, close, nice and easy. Opening up that chest, opening up your shoulders. Let's do two more, last one. All right, shake it out. We're gonna move down to the hips. We're gonna do those hip hinges, hands on the hips if you need to kind of guide your low back. Feet are gonna be right underneath your hips. Knees are gonna be unlocked. This motion starts with your tailbone. You're just hinging forward like you're bowing. Feel that stretch in the back of your legs. You're gonna come back up to standing. Hinge, bow, make sure those knees stay soft. You're not locking out your legs. Back is flat, so if you had a rod from your tailbone to the tip of your head, it should be able to stay there, no rounding. Let's do two more. All right, come up to standing. Take a really wide stance here. We're gonna keep moving with the hips. Toes are gonna be out to the side. Hips are nice and wide. We're gonna tilt, keep both legs straight, tilt to the right side. Feel that stretch in the inner part of your leg. I think like I'm a little teapot, right? So we have a wall in front of us, a wall behind us, so we're trying to move laterally back through center, and then we're gonna go over to the left side. Again, trying to keep the legs as straight as you can. You're really feeling like stretch in the inner part of the hip. And then back to center, and we're gonna do two rotations going around to the front, side, back, hip rotations. Two full rotations to the right. And then once you get your two rotations, just switch directions. Moving around the other side. Okay, once you get your two, bring your feet in a little bit closer, not quite so wide. We're gonna do 5 slow squats. If you need to bring your chair nearby, that's another thing too. If you want a chair, I'm gonna show you modifications or sometimes that you can utilize your chair. Make sure it's nearby for support. If you know you need them for your squats, feel free to use them. If not, you're sitting back, weight in your heels. We're dropping down our hips. Get as low as you can. If you are in a low squat, you might be able to push your hips open with your elbows. If you're up higher, that's fine. Just think actively push out. We worked on that last week, pushing out to the side with our knees. We're gonna do 5 nice and slow. Breathing, and we're still warming up. Push those knees out. Weight back in your heels. Heels are always on the ground in your squat. One more time. Good, bring it all the way up. Shake it out. We're gonna do those lunge stretches that we did last week. So if you need to have your hand on your chair or hand on a wall nearby, just position yourself that way. For our stretch, we're taking a really wide lunge stance. Remember, for the stretch, the back heel stays down, so that we're not doing the exercise with the heels up, heels down, legs back leg is straight. Keep that flat. And then bend that front knee just as far as you can while keeping both heels on the ground, and then reverse, come back up. Then heels on the ground, come back up. We're gonna do a couple. Oh, I didn't start my watch. You guys have your watches. Make sure you start your workout so you guys can get credit. There we go. Let's do 2 more on this side. And then we're just gonna turn, face the other direction. Same thing, just opposite leg. Wide stance. Back heel is on the ground. Front heel's on the ground. Back leg stays straight. Just bend and straighten that front leg. Go as far as you can while keeping both heels on the ground. Let's do 2 more. Just going as far as you can, right? Always in your comfort level. And come back up, bring those feet together. Go ahead, do a little ankle rotations on both sides. You need to do a little point flex with your toes. Do what you guys need to do to shake it out before we get started with our workout today. So remember, with all the exercises that I show, I'll show modifications for each movement, but even with modifications, there may be exercises that may not be the best exercises for you. You might have injuries or things going on. Just know that if something doesn't feel right, don't feel like you have to do it. You can skip exercises. You can substitute exercises for something else. It's completely your workout, and we want this to make you better, not worse. So just know your body. Something's not feeling right. Don't feel the need to kind of push through it. All right. So today we're going to start with a single leg deadlift, or actually what we're going to start with is a 1.5 deadlift. So last week, if you came to my class, we did our deadlifts with our weights, and we worked on doing them with both feet. Today we're going to do them a little bit different. So this is definitely a balancing exercise that also works your core. So this is something I highly suggest having a chair or a wall nearby so that you can have a hand on there for balance and support, okay? So how we're going to do this exercise, we're going to end up doing 8 on each side. So this is, we're going to do one leg at a time. If you're standing, the side that is standing closest to the chair or the wall, that's where your hand is going to be. That's going to be your stable leg. That's going to be your working leg. So that one's going to stay straight. The outside leg is going to be in a kickstand, what I call a kickstand position, okay? So your knees are together, and then you're just going to bring that toe back, and it's just slightly on the ground. Most of your body weight should be on that standing leg. I should be able to pick this toe off the ground, okay? So my weight is over right now. For me, it's going to be on my left-hand side. But I have that toe down for balance, okay? Hand, the outside hand for now, if you want to have it on your hip, you can. What I want you to focus on when we move into this motion is that your hips are staying squared forward. They're not twisting and rotating. They're going to probably want to do that. So having the hand on the hip will help you to kind of notice whether you're opening out to the side or not, okay? So from this kickstand position here, the standing leg, even though it's straight, have a slight bend in that knee, you're going to hinge back, just like we did in that warm-up. You're hinging, hips back, chest forward. You're going to feel that. Should be pretty significant in that working leg. You're going to reverse. You're going to come right back up. Okay, that's our motion. That's what our first set here. That's what we're going for. So we're going to do 8 of these. We're going to hinge, 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 hinge. You're at the bottom, right? No weight in that kickstand leg. And then we're reversing. We're coming back up. That's 2. Hinge. And we're just go as far as you can. You should this really feel this in the back of that standing leg. Your hamstring up to your glute. Keeping weight in that standing leg. We're going to do one more on this side. I think I'm right about 8. All right, stand it up, shake it out. You should feel kind of a lot of tension in the back of that working leg. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to switch sides. So flip yourself around, hand on the chair or on the wall for support. Now all my weight for me is going to go on my right side. I'm going to kickstand my left foot back. Whatever side you start on, just make sure it's the opposite. Hand comes to your hip, knees unlocked. Keep those hips square. We're bending forward. We're standing all the way back up. Hinge, hinge, hinge. Really overload that one leg. Standing back up. Keep those hips square. Excellent. One more here. All right, up and rest. I'm watching the time so I can watch a recovery here today. We're just going to be doing this exercise by itself. So a couple notes while we're in our resting phase. This is a balance-based exercise. So if you're feeling somewhat off balance, that's okay. It's part of what we're working on. With balance, though, watch where your center mass is. That's going to dictate whether you're being balanced or not. The middle, so think about like where your belly button is. If your belly button is centered in between your feet, that's where your balance is going to be. So when we go to a single leg balance, you want to shift your center over whatever leg you're standing on, okay? So you can think about it like your hips should be on either side of that working leg. That's going to make it a lot easier for me to keep the weight on that one leg and keep the no weight on my other side, okay? Same thing. So when I'm on the side here, before I even kickstand my foot back, I shift my hips so they're over that working leg, and that gives me the freedom of having this free. If that was a little easy for you, we're about to start round 2. You can grab a weight, and in that free hand, instead of having it on your hip, it's going to be in front of your leg, okay? If that first round felt hard enough and you were kind of wavering and you're all over the place, don't add the weight. Don't feel like you need to add the weight. The weight is going to just make it a little bit more challenging. You decide what's right for you, okay? But we're going to start again. So remember, kickstand that foot back, shift that weight. Make sure your center of gravity is over that working leg. You're using the weight. It's just going to be right in front of your leg, okay? Knees unlocked. We're going to hinge our way back. Feel that in that working leg, standing all the way back up, okay? Don't let that kickstand knee come out in front of your body. Same thing, we're going 8 and 8. So square. Inhale, exhale. Should be really overloading that one leg right now. All right, once you get your 8, go ahead and shake it out. We're just going to flip around to the other side. Remember, keep very minimal weight in that kickstand leg. So we're just switching, changing, shifting our balance. We've got our hands on the chair, kickstanding back. Inhale, lower down, exhale, come up, square those hips. Try to not use your wall or chair as a crutch either. You shouldn't be kind of hanging on through your leg here. It is helping you balance, but try to keep a light hand grip on that chair. Inhale, exhale. One more. All right, and go ahead and shake it out. We can give ourselves a little bit of our recovery time here. Again, so when we go into this third set, I'm going to give another advancement. Remember, you can always bring things back down. You can do this completely without weight, without advancing. I'm going to show those of you who are ready to kind of advance this movement. The next step would be taking that kickstand leg, instead of it being on the ground, is to actually bring that leg up behind you. So as that arm comes down, as you hinge, that leg's going to actually lift off the ground. This would be a single leg lift, okay? So think about it like from your hand or from your fingertips to the back toe, they're on a string, on a lever, okay? So as your hand comes down, your foot goes back, and as your hand comes up, your foot will turn. So they happen simultaneously. It's not a this, and then I like kick my leg up, or I like kick my leg and my arms dropping. They happen simultaneously, okay? So you only lift your leg as much as you can with bringing your arm down. That is kind of level 3, completely up to you. If you wanted to stick with the way we did it first round, be my guest. Remember, this is your workout. This is our last set here, though. And we're going to get going, okay? So weight shift over to that working leg. Even if you're going to do the single leg, kickstand your foot back, okay? That's just in preparation. If you're going to go for the single leg, as you drop that arm, lift that leg up in the air. Still keep those hips square to the ground, and then you're returning. Slow and controlled. Most core work is done slow and controlled and not speedy. You're getting far more out of it. And keep those shoelaces facing towards the mat. Excellent. All right, go ahead and shake it out. If you're doing the single leg, try to do the same on the opposite side. You'll figure out which is your strong side, which is your bad side. We all kind of balance better on one side versus the other. Just about to figure out which side is your strong side. All right, same thing. Weight shift over, kickstand that leg back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, return. I'm too close. Moving. Reach. I don't have long legs, but sometimes I don't have no space. Inhale, reach. Remember, arm and leg working together. Exhale, stand. Okay. Once you get your weight, go ahead. Under your 8. Set your weight down. Shake out your legs. All right, good news is your legs get a break for a little bit. We're going to move on to our second exercise. This is going to be for our shoulders. You need one weight for this. If you happen to have in your house weight plates with circular weights, they are awesome for this next exercise. If you do not have them, it's perfectly fine. I'm actually going to be demonstrating for you guys with the dumbbell because that's what most people have. But I know some of you guys might have some weight plates at your house. If you do, go ahead and grab that because that's going to feel a little bit easier, okay? So we're going to do something called front raise drivers. Okay, so they're kind of a 2-part series. So you're standing hip width distant, knees are unlocked, shoulders down and back. You're going to inhale, you're going to exhale, you're going to bring your weight straight out from your chest. From here, you're going to make a hard right turn, okay? This is the driving part. Back to center, you're going to make a hard left turn. Back to center, you're going to slowly lower all the way down. That was 1. We're doing 8 of these, okay? So we're coming straight out from the chest, hard right, center, hard left, center, and down. That's 2. Lift to the right, left, 3. Keep those knees unlocked. Little movement in the low back. That's 4. 5. 6. You got 2 more. Last one. If you've got the circle plates, it makes you look more like you're driving a car too. Crazily. All right. Go ahead and press. Set your weight down. Shake out your arms. So last week we talked a little bit about, we were working on our overhead press. We talked about keeping that shoulder down. So anytime you're doing shoulder exercises, try to keep the shoulders down away from your ears. So even during this exercise, don't let this happen. Don't let the shoulders creep up to your ears and create tension here. Even though we're working that area, we want this. Okay, so arms are straight. We're coming out from our chest, but shoulders will always stay down away from our ears as we go through the movement. Okay, how far right or how far left also that you turn is kind of based on your mobility. Just rotate one direction and the other direction and you guys got it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead for round 2. Shoulders are down, knees are unlocked. We're inhaling, we're exhaling, we're coming out from our chest. Rotate to the right, center, rotate to the left, center, lower down. Lifting out from our chest, rotate, rotate, and down. Make sure those shoulders are staying down. Up from our chest, rotate, rotate, and down. Right, left, and down. Keep those knees unlocked. And down. 3 more. Up from the chest. Right, left, and down. Should be getting harder these last couple. Lift up from the chest, right, left. And last one up from the chest, right, left, and down. Excellent. Weight come down. Go ahead. You can use some of those arm swings. This is a good time to do a little bit of that. Shake out the shoulders. Any of the dynamic warm-up movements that we did are great ones to do again throughout your workout as you need to for stretching purposes. If there's water nearby, that's going to be great. All right, guys. Last time around with these, and then we're going to get into some of our supersets for tonight. Go ahead and grab your weight. weight. Relax those shoulders. They know it's coming. Don't worry, the next one, I'm gonna give them a little bit of a break. Feet hip width distance. Really think unlock your knees, especially if you start to feel stuff in your low back. It's usually because your legs straightened and you're arching your back in some capacity. So keep the knees unlocked. They don't have to be in a squat position, but just unlock and bend, okay? All right, last ones. Inhale, let's lift to the right, left, and down for one. Out from our chest, to the right, to the left, two. Right, to the left, 3, left, to the right, to the left, 4, halfway, lift, to the right, 5, we got 3 left, to the right, to the left. Last 2, shoulders should be burning at this point. Down, last 1, right, left. All right, go ahead, set your weight down. Shake out those arms again. So those were our 2 focus exercises for tonight. Now we're gonna move into those supersets. So if you weren't here last week, supersets means we're gonna do 1 exercise for 1 muscle group, and then we're gonna go straight into doing another exercise for a different muscle group. We're gonna have a little bit of a shorter rest period, and then we're gonna repeat. We're gonna do 3 sets through for everything. Our first one is gonna be weighted like a dumbbell weight. So grab that 1 dumbbell, or if you have light dumbbells, you can do, you can hold on to 2 lighter dumbbells. We're gonna do sumo squats today. So a little bit different. When we do sumo squats, they're just wider than our normal squats. And normally we are a little wider than our hips and heels and toes are out to the side. Think even wider, okay? Heels and toes are out to the side. I like to do my sumo squats with a heavy weight and just hold it in between my legs here. If you've got lighter weights and you prefer like the goblet hold or the crossover hold, you can do them that way too. It's kind of your preference on how you're just holding that weight. You're just taking it along for the ride, okay? We're gonna inhale, we're gonna exhale, we're gonna actually push our knees out to the side as we bring our hips down, go as low as you can. Press and come back up. Remember, you can always do these when you sit down to a chair. That's a good modification. Knees come out, weight goes back in your heels, coming back up. We're doing 10. Knees out, butt back. Like you here last week, think about the things that we worked on, pushing those knees out, pushing those hips back. Good. You're doing sumo style, you'll feel a little bit more on the inner and outer thigh. That was 10 for me. Once you hit your 10, set your weight down to the side. If you have a band, now would be the time to grab it. Here's my band. Tonight I'm using the one with the handles. If you don't have a band, you can do this exercise with weights. So just follow along with just doing it as you would with weights. But if you have your band, grab your band. We're gonna do a wide bent over row. So with the band, you're gonna stand on the band with 2 feet, hip width distance, okay? Make sure you've got good body weight pressure on that band so it's not gonna come snapping up at your face. Knees are unlocked, hinging for that flat back position that we've been working on a lot. If you have the band, go ahead and cross the handles so that you're making an X. I'll show you from the front. Looks like this. So the X is in between your knees. Make sure it looks like this and not this. Okay? So your arms aren't crossed. The band is crossed. Okay? From here, when we do a wide row, you're going to keep your palms faced back towards you. So you're going to come up and it's going to, your elbows are going to be out to the side as opposed to close into your butt. Okay? So it's going to look a little bit more like this. We're going for 10, so we're going to inhale down this position. We're going to exhale. We're going to pull our elbows out to the side. We're going to lower back down. Inhale, exhale, lift, squeeze, lower down. Going for 10. Lift, squeeze, and lower. Inhale, exhale. Keep that back in that same position, nice and flat. We've got weights. You can hold them the same way I'm holding these handles. Still pulling those elbows out to the side. Excellent. Once you guys get your 10, go ahead, come off that band, set it down to the side. Take a moment here. Remember, it's gonna be a little bit short of a rest. We're gonna go right back around. We're gonna get going with those sumo squats. So Depending on how you felt in the last one and depending what you have available to you, you can add a weight if you need to. You can take one away. Your options. With lower body stuff, it's really easy if something's challenging for you to just do it without weight. So most lower body exercises, squats, lunges, deadlifts, any motions like that, if it's challenging for you, just remove the weight. Usually that will help. Okay. Second round, sumo squats. Feet are wide. Heels toes out to the side. Pull those shoulders down. Knees out to the side. Weight down your heels. Sitting back. Coming up. We're going for 10. Share your breathing. Keep those heels on the ground. And 10. Excellent. Once you get your 10, set that weight down to the side. We're going to move a little bit quicker since we know the exercise coming up. Grab that band if you have it, or just keep holding on to those weights, getting ourselves set up for our bent over, our wide bent over rows, feet hip width distance, knees unlocked, hinging forward, flat back. Make that X with that band. We're inhaling, we're exhaling, arms are out to the side, lowering down. Inhale, exhale, out, squeeze, lower down. Same thing, go for 10. Same rule applies. Try to keep those shoulders away from your ears. Keep that back in the same position. All right, once you get 10, come off your band. Set your weights down. You can go ahead and relax. Quick break here. We go into our last set. So like I kind of mentioned at the beginning, or before we start these supersets we're using opposing muscle groups. That's why the rest time is a little bit less, okay? Your lower body's resting while we're doing this upper body work, and then your upper body's resting while we do the lower body work, all right? So grab that weight. We got one set left, going for our sumo squats. Feet nice and wide, heels and toes are pointed out to the side. Pull those shoulders down and back. Knees press out, weight goes back, dropping all the way down, coming up. Last set of 10. Make sure you're breathing. Reach your comfort level. All right, into 10. Set that weight down. Grab your band if you have it. Grab your second weight if you need to. Last time through, wide bent over rows. Feet hip width distance, knees unlocked, bending forward. Remember, from a side view, your back should always be flat. So avoid this, right, or overarching. Yeah, either one of those are great. You want a flat back. Inhale, exhale, out to the side. That last 10. Nice and wide. Feel this in between your shoulder blades. Use that pencil. All right. Once you reach that 10, go ahead and set that band down. Relax, shake it out. This is a great time to grab some water. Our next series, I'm going to talk you through it a little bit so you have a little bit of a break here. We're going to go over lateral lunges today, okay? So I'm going to show you static lunges where you're not moving through them. And then as we progress with the sets, I'm going to show you ways that you can step into this lunge. And then I'm also going to show you ways to add weight to this lunge. Just know everything is optional for you, and you just find your level of comfort. Also know that when we're doing lunges generally are a balance-based exercise. So for a lateral lunge for you at home, probably not a bad idea to keep the chair out in front of you. Okay, that's going to be the best way to balance for this particular lunge. I'm not gonna do that because you guys aren't gonna be able to see what I'm doing. But just so you know, if you need the balance support, put the chair out in front of you, okay? So we're gonna do 8 lateral lunges each side. I'm just gonna demonstrate it real quick, and then I'm gonna give us our options. I'm gonna do the most modified way the first round, and then I'm gonna progress it, but those of you that wanna progress faster, feel free, okay? So laterals out to the side. We're doing really wide with our feet. With lateral lunges, one leg is bent, one leg is gonna stay straight. So if I'm going to my right side first, what it looks like is both hips go back, but just my right knee back, okay? So I'm here, it's almost like a skating type looking motion. And then I'm reversing, I'm coming up. I'm gonna do 8, where I'm keeping all the weight pressure on that right side, left leg is straight, and then I'm gonna come up, and then I'm gonna do 8 on my other side. Showing you progression so that you guys can choose your method. If you want the more dynamic movement, you're actually gonna step into this lunge. You would start with your feet together. You would step out wide, at the same time bending that knee, opposite leg stays straight, and then you push off the outside of that foot and you come back feet together, okay? So that's a more advanced way of doing it. It takes more balance, it takes a little bit more strength. If you would like to do that, feel free. Third level of challenge, and then we're gonna get going, is to have weights in your hands. If you choose to have weights in your hands, when you do the lunge, the weights come to the outside of your knee, of that working knee, okay? So it's here, and then you press up and come back together. So those are your 3 options. Like I said, I'm gonna start with the easiest progressions. If you wanna just follow along with me, you can. If you wanna do it more advanced, awesome, do your own thing. But we're gonna do 8 on our right side, and then we're gonna go straight into 8 on our left, okay? So we're bending, remember, one knee straight, one knee bent, and then we're reverse, okay? So if you're moving, you're pressing up, you're coming back to center. You're staying stationary, you're bending towards that one side. You're reversing, you're coming up. Try to keep your hips still square to the back, okay? So keep those hips going back together. It's just one leg is bent, one leg is straight. You're getting a lot of work on the outside of that working leg. I have 2 more. Okay, reversing, we're gonna go to that second side. If you haven't started already, that means the opposite leg is straight, opposite leg is gonna be bent. I'm pressing hips back, and back to standing. Even if you're doing it this way or hands on a chair, kind of imagine that you eventually are gonna be holding weights as you're doing this. The goal is to imagine, visualize your progression, yeah. Hips back, hips back, hips back. And how far back you set your hips is completely always up to you, up to your knee strength, up to whatever mobility you have. Okay, 8 and 8, we do have a second motion to go with this. Grab your pair of weights. We're going to do a dumbbell Arnold press. Okay, it's an overhead press, but it's a little bit different than what we focused on last week. Feet right underneath your hips, knees are unlocked. You're starting with the weights faced back towards you. As you press overhead, you're going to rotate your wrist out. Okay, so it looks like this. We start here, we turn, rotate, and press. Then as we come down, we rotate, hands face back in. Okay, so it's a little bit twisty. Okay, we're gonna go for 10 of these. We're gonna inhale, we're gonna exhale, we're gonna twist and press, reverse and twist and press, reverse and still try to keep everything pretty close to your midline. I just tell people when we do overhead presses, you want to try to avoid doing like a YMCA motion. You're going way out to the side. You want to try to keep things close to midline. Make sure you're inhaling and exhaling. Make sure your knees stay unlocked. And just another thing to think about, try to keep those shoulders down away from your ears. Okay, that was plenty to think about. Go ahead, set your weights down, shake it out. Short break here. We're gonna go straight back into those lateral lunges. I think a couple of you guys were doing the dynamic motion. This time around, I'm gonna do the step into the lunge, but if you are still at this level and you wanna keep it just stationary, stay there. Don't feel the need to progress. I'm just going to progress with each set, okay? But we are gonna go 8 each side, okay? So if you're stepping or if you're staying that point, remember, one leg is bent, one leg is straight. Going 8, one side, 8 on the other. Remember, you don't have to follow along with me. You do what's right for you. But always find the appropriate level of challenge. So if you're not being challenged, make sure you're finding challenge. Once you get 8, we're going to switch to the other side. I just like to move to the mat if I'm doing the dynamic one. Nice and wide, out to the side, pressing back to center. If you're doing the dynamic, as I am right now, think when you press back, push from the outside of that leg. That's going to generate the power and force you need to get those feet back together. Drawing a lateral line in that sand. Once you get your 8 each side, go ahead, shake up those legs. Grab onto those weights. If you don't have them already, we're going right into our Arnold presses. Feet underneath your hips, knees unlocked, hands face backwards. You're going to inhale, you're going to exhale. Press straight up overhead, rotate. Remember, you're twisting, then you're twisting back to center. Twist and lift, reverse and lower. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure your shoulders are down. Knees are unlocked. Excellent. Once you reach your 10, set your weights down. Take your quick break here. My chair's kind of in my way. Move back. All right, guys, for our last ones here, I'm going to demonstrate using the dumbbells and having them on either side of my knee. Remember, you could still just be here with that chair in front of you, okay? Completely optional. I'm just advancing as we go. If you're with me, awesome. If you're not, awesome. Okay, we're going 80 each side though. Bending that one side at a time, one leg straight, one leg bent. Push those hips back, spread them off. Inhale, exhale. Push from the outside of that leg if you're doing them dynamically. Once you get 8, go ahead and reset. Even if you're not doing them dynamically, say you're just at the beginner level today, I want you to actively think, like push from the outside of your leg away, just because that's going to get you in preparation for when you do advance, okay? Second side, if you guys haven't already started, here we go. 8 on our second side. One leg straight, one leg bent. Drawing that line in the sand. All right, once you get those 8, shake out those legs. Remember, we've got another set of Arnold presses coming up. For our last time through, shoulders are down, knees are unlocked. We're gonna inhale, we're gonna exhale. Rotate, twist up, reverse down. Inhale, exhale, press, shoulders are down. Inhale, keep it close to the body, close to the midline. Last ones. Don't arch that low back. Two more, watch those shoulders. Don't let them creep up. That's where it's hard. And exhale, lower. Woo. Alrighty, guys. Our last 2 exercises tonight are gonna be on the mat, okay? So we are gonna be lying down, so make sure you have a space somewhere in your house like on a carpet, or if you have a yoga mat, awesome. I'm just gonna move the camera a little bit so you can make sure to see me. With one of these exercises tonight, if you so happen to have one of these loop bands, feel free to use it. It's completely optional, and I promise you, if you don't have one, it's still gonna be hard, or hard enough. It's gonna be challenging enough. But if you do have one, this just adds an extra zing to it. Completely optional. I'm gonna add my extra zing. So if you do have the loop band, you would position it right above your knees. Okay? What we're about to do. But for all of us, we're gonna come and we're gonna lie down on the mat. And this is an exercise for our glutes and for our hips. We're gonna do a glute bridge, and then we're gonna do hip abduction, okay? So we're lying flat. Our feet are gonna come in close to our butt, as far as we can get them. About hip width distance, palms are gonna be down on the mat. We're gonna first lift our hips up to the sky as high as we can. So you're coming up into your shoulder blades, you're lifting your low back, you're squeezing your butt, okay? From here, we're squeezing. We're gonna slowly lower down. If you've got that band, it's gonna try to squeeze your legs together. So it's just, again, that added zing to keep you pressing your legs out to the side, using your hips. We're doing 10 here. Lift, squeeze. Lower down. I used to have a teacher that would say, crack the walnut from your butt cheeks. If you feel like visualizing that, be my guest. Lift, squeeze, really good for the posterior side of your core. Low back. On your 10th one, hold at the top. Why not? All right, so here we are at number 10. We're not complete. We're staying lifted. Keep squeezing that butt. And now I want you to just press those knees out to the side. You're going to rotate on the side of your foot. You're going to come back to center. Rotate outside, press outside, and back to center. You should come on to the lateral portion of your feet, back to center. Doing 10 of these. Should burn. All right, once you get 10, whew, lower down. If you have your loop band, feel free, you can take it off from your legs. Oh, and hopefully you're not like me. Hopefully you guys brought your weight down close to your mat. If you didn't, I'm sorry, we didn't need to grab the weight. Grab your weight, I'm sorry. I'm making you get up and get down for no reason. Our second motion tonight, mine's trying to escape from me, is we're doing a single arm chest press, okay? So we're in that same position, our feet are on the mat, our hips are down on the mat, the backs of our shoulders are on the mat. We're taking our one weight. We're gonna do this one at a time, and we're gonna do a chest press. So our elbow is angled about a 45-degree angle out from our body, so it's not right against our body, and it's not out from our shoulders, about 45 degrees. Knuckles are gonna face up towards the sky. Other hand is gonna be on the mat. The reason why I'm having you guys do this one-sided is because you're gonna have a tendency of putting more of your body weight on that, that side, that hip that's got the weight, right? And then the other side of your body lifts up. You're gonna use your core, level that off, right? So really squeeze your belly, don't let your hips shift. Okay? So using a little bit of our core with our chest today. We're inhaling, we're exhaling, we're pressing our arms straight up. We're coming right back down to that 45-degree angle, keeping our hips and shoulder blades level the whole time. We're gonna go 10 on the right side. And we're gonna switch, we'll do 10 on the left. Keep those hips stable, those shoulder blades stable. All right, once you've gotten your 10, carefully switch over. We're gonna set up the same way on the second side. So 45-degree angle out to the side, other hand is down on the mat. We're gonna inhale, we're gonna exhale. We're gonna press that arm straight up, out from the chest, keeping those hips level. Once you get your 10, go ahead and safely just set your weight down. With your body, you can take a moment here and relax. If you are using your glute band, you might want to get yourself positioned. if you're doing, if you have the ability of using a bench, I know someone had mentioned this at the beginning of class. If you have a weight bench, doing single arm exercises on the weight bench is actually a really great practice. I just know not everybody has access to using a weight bench, but if you do, exercises like that are really awesome. All right, guys, we're going round 2 for our glute bridges and our hip abduction. So bring those heels in towards your butt, palms are face down. You're inhaling, you're exhaling, you're lifting as high as you can, squeeze, and lower down. Lift, squeeze, lower down. Inhale, exhale. All the way up to your shoulder blades. Remember the 10th one, you hold, lift, squeeze, keep your hips as high up as you can, and then rotate out on the outside of those legs, press out and in. And try not to drop your hips. And once you reach your 10, lower all the way down to relax. Relax that low back. You have a band, feel free to unwind yourself. And grab onto that weight. Start on the same side as you did before. For me, that's the right side. Feet are in towards your butt. 45-degree angle out. Watch both those hip bones, right? You want to keep everything flat on that mat. You're inhaling, you're exhaling, straight out your chest, lower down. Inhale, press, lower down. All right, once you get your 10, switch sides. Position, 45-degree angle, both hips on the mat, both shoulder blades on the mat. Inhale, exhale. The heavier this weight gets for yourself, the harder it is for you to keep everything even. All right, once you get 10 and 10, secure that weight down to the side. Take a little bit of relaxation here. Can you stretch out the legs, stretch out the arms? Not a bad idea. Before we go into our last set here. And I will let you guys know if you're doing exercises at home, if you never do unilateral work, and by unilateral I mean doing things with one arm at a time or one leg at a time, I highly encourage it. It's really awesome supplemental training to do if you have any imbalances or weaknesses, right versus left, or it's a good way of kind of identifying where your weaknesses are. So, you know, the big motions are great, the squats, the deadlifts, chest presses, all of that. But every once in a while, it's a good idea to incorporate some single arm, single leg stuff. Super valuable for injury prevention. All right, we're doing our last set through hip bridges and then hip abduction. So feet close to your butt, hands on the ground. We're gonna lift, squeeze. We got 10. We're on 10, you lift, you hold, and out to the side. Abduction, pushing away from the body. Try to keep those hips up. Whoa, I lost my loop band. Give me a waistband. And lower all the way down. Equipment malfunctions. See, they happen to us all. That's the end of that. All right, guys. Last time through chest press. 45-degree angle. Feet are down. Shoulder blades on the ground. Inhale, exhale, press. And lower down. 10 right and left. Coming up on our last exercises. Keep those hips on the ground. Pressing out from the chest. All right, once you reach your 10, switch it on over, opposite side. Whenever you're ready, 45-degree angle, inhale, exhale, press. Lower down. Keep those shoulder blades together. All right, once you reach your 10, go ahead, set that weight down to the side. One last bonus exercise I'm going to give us real quick before we recover. This one will be nice and fast. We're just going to do 20 reps of one movement, and then we're going to be done. We're called dead bugs, okay? So we're kind of already looking like dead bugs on the mat here. We're laying down flat. We're going to bring our knees up. Bring both your knees up so your shins are parallel to the ground. From here, you're going to go ahead and lower one leg straight down to the ground. Don't let that heel touch. You're going to pull back up to center. This is for our core. We're going to do 20. We're going to do 10 each side. Ready? Here we go. Don't even think about it. Just go. 1, 2, 3. Keep the low back on the ground. 4, 5, 6. Using our core. 7, 8, 9, 10. Halfway. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Awesome. All right. Carefully, when you're ready, roll to one side. Carefully make your way up. Grab your chair if it's nearby. Let's just go through. I know we're getting down to the last minutes here, but let's just go through a couple quick stretches before I let you guys leave for the night. Find that seated chair. We're going to do a hamstring stretch. So go ahead, extend one leg out, heel down, toe up. Leaning forward towards that leg. Touch the back of your hamstring. Couple deep breaths. Bring that leg in, extend that other foot out. If you need to do some more stretching after this video is over, feel free. Everybody's cool down phase is a little bit different. Bringing that opposite leg in, take that right foot, either cross ankle over ankle, opening up that hip out to the side, or if you have the flexibility to do so, you can cross your ankle above your knee, let that hip just fall out to the side. Quick hip opener stretch. And then go ahead and switch sides. So cross ankle over ankle, opening up that hip to the side, or if you have the flexibility to do so, you can cross your ankle above your knee. Couple deep breaths. And then untwist yourself. Let's just do a little bit of a shoulder stretch. Bring one shoulder across your body, hug it in close. And then go ahead and shake it out. Opposite shoulder. All right, shake it out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, for hanging out with me and doing this workout. I did want to also let you guys know, if you haven't been on our website recently, we do have a survey up there. So if you guys have any feedback, or if you have any comments as far as things that you'd like to see more of, different times, different days, things like that, feel free to visit our website and just put that stuff in the comments. That will help us. We're kind of building what we want to do for June, so we want some feedback from you guys if you haven't gotten a chance to do that already. But thank you guys so much for coming out. Have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you.